Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, what's up, Cheap Shot Nation? I am your host Luke, and you're watching another quick shot review for Cheap Shot Entertainment. And this video review is for a older movie, 1997. I Know What You Did Last Summer, but also the name of the film is I Know What You Did Last Summer. And it's also written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote the Scream series, or had the idea for Scream and the script as it's gone on. We've of course reached the fifth entry of Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer only got 2 entries, thank goodness. Actually, I think it got 3 entries, and an Amazon Prime series, so which is very recent, which is okay. The Amazon Prime series, it's okay, but I really like this movie, and therefore I'm going to review it for you. So if you want to know my thoughts on this retro movie, and it is really strange to say that it's retro because it's only 25 years old, but it is 25 years old, then please join me for the main part of the video, and make sure you click the like and subscribe buttons because it helps us out loads. Join the Cheap Shot Nation, and I will see you in that main part of the video. So, I Know What You Did Last Summer was released in 1997, and the director was none other than Jim Gillespie, and the writers was Lois Duncan, who wrote the novel, and Kevin Williamson, who wrote the screenplay, as I've already mentioned. Now, this film, it was released, like I say, round about the time that Scream was released. Scream was 1996, Scream 2 was 1997, so this was released on the same year. So it was a good year for teen slasher movies, and this one tried to be a bit more edgy. It was less self-aware than Scream, tried to do something very differently, and it was based around an urban legend. Not the same urban legends as the film Urban Legends. So it stars Jennifer Love Hewitt as Julie James, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Helen Shivers. Of course, we get Anne Heche as Melissa Egan, Ryan Philippe as Barry Cox, Freddie Prinze Jr. as Ray Bronson, and Muse Watson as Benjamin Willis, who of course is also the main antagonist. You've got Bridget Wilson, Sampras, there we go, didn't see the full name, as Elsa Shivers, who's the sister of Helen, of course. Johnny Galecki plays Max, and he is the last big name star in this one, really. So, of course, Johnny Galecki is now known as playing someone in a popular TV show about being a big geek. So, yes, I Know What You Did last summer. I still really like I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's a guilty pleasure, I know. But I watched this film quite a while ago, considering that it's taken so long for me to actually do the review. I watched it surrounded by fireworks as we went into another lockdown at the beginning of 2021. Yes, it's taken that long to do a review. Watched it again recently, but it was quite apt because the film starts off on July the 4th, which of course is American Independence Day. Needed some good horror slasher fun as the country of the UK, or the collective countries of the UK, went into another full lockdown in January 2021. Having watched the whole Scream series in the lockdown with my good friend Mike, watched it very recently again with my good friend Josh in preparation for the new Scream, of course. I just wanted some straightforward 90s horror slasher fun, and really apt because the logical next step was go back to 1997 and watch something that was set on the 4th of July in the spirit of the presidential election, of course, that also took place at the beginning of last year. And if you're one of the conspiracy theorists that don't think that President Biden is a real person, then grow up. Anyway, so bring the hooks and the fishing gear, because I know what you did last summer. And Jennifer Love Hewitt is in this one alongside another schoolboy crush of mine, Sarah Michelle Gellar, of course. 2 reasons good enough to watch this film again. Much like any other teen slasher, the film cashes in on the Scream renaissance of the genre, and it borrows a lot from Halloween, with a silent stalker, then more in your face than Scream, and a bit more down to earth than Scream, of course, as well. And it's good to stay up to date and trendy. Of course, Kevin Williamson also wrote The Faculty, which I've reviewed in a previous video. So it stars who's who of actors and actresses of the time, and a lot of people that cross over into other franchises as well. What really stands out here for me is the cinematography and how beautifully the movie is actually shot. And much like Scream, Scary Movie has completely ruined this one as well. Where's the foot? And the pretty much any scene with Freddie Prinze Jr., but which is the bad parts of the movie. But the rest of the cast is pretty solid, and I will never fail to laugh at the parade scene where Ryan Phillippe tackles an old guy to the ground. Not only is this unintentionally hilarious, but the old guy gives a more convincing performance than Freddie Prinze Jr. I forgot I'd written all this. This is funny. The best scene in the film by far is the chase scene with the fisherman and, of course, Sarah Michelle Gellar, who plays Ryan, who plays Helen. And not only is this a wonderfully tense encounter from start to finish, but it's shot in a way that is totally believable. You're following Helen and she's being stalked, and it's really and of course it's really, really tense. But of course there is the dumbness in this scene as well, and I won't spoil it, but it ends with a tense showdown under the Independence Day fireworks, of course 1 year after the original storyline started, which is the Independence Day. And Gellar's character is also way more interesting than Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, although there is, this is the way things go. I mean, Scream went the same way, killing off one of the biggest stars, and that is the only spoiler I'm going to give. But this is a 1997 movie. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. She would make a better lead in this film. Ultimately, this one is by the books, and it's a definite guilty pleasure from an era that practically brought me up into the horror, into my love of horror, really. And I love Hewitt, and also I can't watch it without quoting Scary Movie, which I've also mentioned. But my final verdict on I Know What You Did Last Summer from 1997 is watch it, because it's a classic now. For me, it's a classic. 25 years ago, this film was released. It's nowhere near as good as Scream, but it is, in its own right, a very, very good movie. and it's a guilty. But I would say it's very, very good. It's by the books. It does its job. It's just a lot of fun, and there's some people that might get stalked in it. Anyway, that is my review of I Know What You Did Last Summer from 1997. I've been your host, Luke, as usual. This has been Cheap Shot Entertainment, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.